Farm News Media presents Farm News 5.
The fight over a fish hatchery in Grayling spills into Crawford County Court. And Michigan Ag Commodities' Chris Betz will have a market update. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5, a 5-minute look at the week's top agricultural news.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
A fish hatchery in Grayling is embroiled in a legal and political feud with the state's Department of Environmental Quality and a group keeping watch over the Osable River. Dan Vogler owns the Harrietta Hills Trout Farm and wants to raise 300,000 pounds of rainbow trout in an Old State hatchery. Right now, he's raising a mere 68,000 pounds. But he claims the DEQ director has drug her feet in signing a permit he needs to open the hatchery. And the anglers of the Osable have filed suit to stop the hatchery from opening.
People want to eat, and we need to get people to understand that utilization of resources is necessary to produce food. Aquaculture and the utilization of our abundant fresh water here in Michigan is an excellent way to do that. We want to do that responsibly. We want to do it in a well-regulated environment so that it is done without causing harm to the environment.
The tailor-made NPDES permit is said to be ironclad and is specifically written to protect the Osable, leaving Vogler frustrated by the delay. DEQ Director Heidi Grether is expected to make a final decision on the permit by the end of the month. Between poor pollination weather and a frost earlier this week, the state's fruit growers haven't had the easiest spring. An accurate assessment of the frost damage won't be known until petafall in mid-June. But Michigan Farm Bureau's Horticulture and Industry Relations Specialist Kevin Robson says he has spoken with growers, and there is still a lot of optimism across the state.
I talked to an orchard grower up on the ridge last week, and he says, there is some damage. And he can see the damage, but overall he said he's still going to have a good apple crop.
Robson says the weather will only get better from here on out, and with ample blossoms on the trees, you can expect plenty of fruit come harvest.
Yep, we cover Michigan, from sandbars to sand dunes, cider mills to skiing hills, and farm towns to downtowns. We cover up north, and yep, we know exactly where that is. Yep, we cover Michigan because we're Michigan's insurance company.
Because of new scientific evidence, the National Milk Producers Federation says dairy foods categorized as healthy should include reduced fat varieties and not be limited to low or no fat varieties. That's just part of the message the Federation delivered to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration recently, as the agency took input from industry groups about food labeling terminology. In addition, NMPF also advised the FDA to be flexible in changing healthy guidelines, so that the agency could later add full-fat dairy products as scientific understanding progresses about the benefits of dairy fat in the diet. Michigan Ag Commodities' Chris Betz joins us now with a market update.
Thanks, Janelle. Soybeans are the biggest story of the week, falling 30 cents on the July Thursday. Selling came in the wake of news Wednesday night that Brazil's president sanctioned bribing the former House Speaker. Investors dumped Brazilian assets following the report, as the acting president is viewed as being crucial to help a struggling Brazilian economy. The Brazilian real, in turn, was sent into a tailspin. The drop in the real means that Brazilian soybeans are significantly cheaper for world buyers than they were Wednesday morning. This will pressure U.S. exports. On the flip side, the U.S. is experiencing its own political turmoil that has pressured the dollar to slide lower over the past week. U.S. soy exports have performed admirably well in 2017. Thursday's export data for last week were firm, with increased Chinese purchases from the week prior. The fundamental trade focus is still U.S. production. While big planted acres are burdensome, there still needs to be a weather premium priced into the market. Avoid overreaction to Thursday's slide. Big picture fundamentals remain the same, suggesting range-bound trade. Spillover pressure from the Brazilian political scandal will affect corn, but expect trade to remain sideways. Wheat was supported this week by an encouraging Egyptian tender of U.S. wheat, but big stocks worldwide will still weigh on trade. For more information, go to michag.com. With Michigan Agricultural Commodities, I'm Chris Betz.
For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.